everything that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's we are constantly upgrading here, and we've got more platforms, and so it's very exciting. So so tell us, what was a highlight from your trip?
Well, the highlight was I have very dear friends who live in a very nice town on the coast of Maine. And their home is about 10,000 square feet and a restored Victorian mansion. And I was alone 4 of the days. It wasn't planned. And so I did a lot of soul searching and I came to a lot of new revelations. And that really was what came to me. And it is that I need to start living my life as if I am on vacation, be more spontaneous, be open to experience new things that aren't necessarily planned, but just go along with the flow. So that was really what came of my vacation. Plus, lobster rolls weren't bad either, but they're $27, Dr. Jacalyn, for a lobster roll. I mean, it was crazy. So yeah, that's the high. I mean, it was just, I don't know if you've ever been to the coast of Maine, but it is just spectacular.
I have not been there, but I am very happy for you. And this revelation that you came to, it's incredible. There's a song, and I forget the name of the guy who sings it, but it's Live Like You're Dying. I think, what if you found out that today was your last day? Why would you wait to do all the things that you want to do? So it sounds like this Maine trip was something that really helped take you to another level. So I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. It's great to be back here. Thank you. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. And we've got a great guest backstage. I'm looking forward to bringing her out. But before we do, I'm going to spotlight you, and I'd love for you to share with our audience, people watching and listening, what it is that Lori Mendelson does and the value that you are bringing to this wonderful world.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. So right now, I am focusing on dating coaching and writing dating app profiles. And the 3-step approach that I have is clarity, analysis, and then execution. Now, that doesn't mean that someone's going to get executed, but it means putting the plan that we come up with together into place to help you find love and to be your better self. And then writing the people's dating app profiles, making sure that they're really catchy, that they have great photographs, so they're very attractive to the opposite sex, and they have a better chance of getting, I don't want to say chosen, but swiped right versus swiped left. So I have been getting a lot of calls for matchmaking, being very, very, very picky about who I bring into the fold right now. So, I'm becoming far more aware of red flags these days, which I think is another thing that I've learned along the way. So that's been good. I also have become Dr. Renee Mudry's personal dating coach. And we do on Clubhouse, in the Emotion Club every Sunday morning, the emotions of dating. So I'm hoping that people will listen to us, join her club, and follow, because it's some great conversation.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Yay. We love Dr. Renee.
I love her. We love each other. We should be dating. We only have different parts.
I sense that chemistry between the two of you. So thank you so much for sharing that. And it's great to have you back here with us. All right, let's bring out our guest. She is joining us from the great state of Texas. I just love Texas. I can't get enough of Texans. Her name is Stephanie D. McKenzie, and she is lead coach of The Firms. Hi, hello, Stephanie.
Hello. Hi.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well.
We are pumped up to hear all about what you're doing and The Firms. When I think of The Firm, I think of that movie with Tom Cruise. It was a good one, wasn't it?
It was awesome. I actually just watched it about a week ago, oddly enough.
You can always find something else in that movie that you didn't see before, can't you?
Absolutely. I think almost every Tom Cruise movie is like that.
Yes, he's quite mesmerizing, I think. So Stephanie, as we found out backstage, you are no stranger to the StreamYard platform. You are a streamer yourself. So I'm going to highlight you. Do share with us about your work as a super coach and mentor, streamer, and everything else that you're doing. We can't wait to hear more.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for having me here. I have really been pondering this. This question comes at a great time because I've really been pondering the work that I do, and it has boiled down to really helping people and freeing those. And this is going to sound really grandiose, and I don't care. Freeing those who have been enslaved to the expectations of others. Because once you break free from the expectations of others, you can have more love. You can have a better life. You can live life in your purpose, and everything's just better all around. So that is the work that I do in a variety of contexts, and I am super excited about it.
Thank you, Stephanie. How did you get started?
Oh, that's a great question, because everyone always thinks I had this great plan to become a coach. I did not. I am a marketer. I own an award-winning marketing agency, and came to coaching through that space. I was working with a client that was going to be a dating website. And I said, you know what would be a great idea? We should offer relationship education, because I love education. I think it's amazing when people can learn and take that into their lives. It empowers them. And so I said, I'll go get certified as a coach. The project never saw the light of day. People started connecting with me in social media. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do with these people? What do you want? And so I'm having arguments with, the power greater than I. And I'm like, I am a marketer. This is what I do. I market things. I don't want to be a coach. However, my mother has pointed out on several occasions, I've been a coach probably for the majority of my life, probably about 90% of my life. And at some point I decided it was futile to keep fighting. So that was when we launched what would become the Relationship Firm. The Firms is actually one coaching practice with 3 divisions: the Relationship Firm, the Healing Firm, and our new firm is the Launching Firm. So our first baby was the Relationship Firm. And once I stopped fighting and got into this and realized, wow, just the impact that you can have and how really, truly important relationships are in our lives, I was hooked. And here we are.
Congratulations. That is really exciting. Woo! And we're going to get into the alignment that you have with dating, as it's a dating show. But I have to ask, because I really love empowered women, and I feel like it's important that we empower each other. So if you could share with our audience, how long did it take you when you accepted the fact that you were meant to be a coach? How long did it take you before your business took off?
I'm going to say, because I wasn't committed the first 3 to 4 years, I was still fighting. So I'd say probably maybe year 6. Once I got focused, once I decided this is what I was doing. I'd say about year 6.
Stephanie, did you have a day job when you were doing all of this, or did you just decide?
I don't remember.
What?
Yes, I did have a quote unquote day job. I think the first one I'd had in a while. I actually became a college professor. And I wanted to, because I wanted to be a college professor. I'd had all these younger people come and say, hey, I want to work at your marketing agency. We did celebrity events. They just wanted to be at the events. I was very clear on that. But, they would have these portfolios, and I would look at them and I'm like, what professor is teaching you this nonsense? And so, I love to teach. I love to teach even more than the marketing and all of that. And so I went back and got my master's and became a professor. And in fact, I remained a professor for the last 11 years, resigning as of August the 16th of this year.
Wow. Congratulations on that. It's amazing. It's huge. Look at all the wonderful accomplishments you have. That's tremendous.
Thank you.
What was if I may ask, just being nosy, but what was the catalyst for you to decide to retire or resign from being a professor?
I kept having conversations with myself, because I love my students. I did. I love pouring into them, and I would always rework my classes and melding the things that were important to me. They were learning about entrepreneurship and business, as well as self-care and self-love, and how to be a good human in terms of being a good human to themselves. And so I was having all of these convergences, right? But, Dr. JACALYN, I have these things called self-covenants. And one covenant that I have with myself is that I only received being celebrated and not tolerated. It started to become very clear to me that there was a distinct possibility I was being tolerated in the position I was in. And after going into United Nations level negotiations with myself, I just decided, you know what, I don't have to do this anymore. And I don't want to do this anymore. And so I'm going to return to full-time entrepreneurship.
Stephanie, I just wrote that down. Celebrated, not tolerated. I just wrote it right here. That is huge.
I love it.
Huge.
And it's not mine. I got it from someone, but it is just reverberated through my life. And I just hold really tightly to that because it's so easy for us, especially as women, to get drawn into situations where we're doing good things, but the environment may not be good for us. We don't feel like this is good for me at the level that it should be. And so Self-Covenant was like, hi. And I was like, hello, I know why you're here.
It's good to see you. I've been waiting for you.
Exactly.
I've been trying to find you.
Exactly. It's like the ghost of Christmas past. Okay. All right. So here we are, back in full-time entrepreneurship.
Good for you.
Thank you.
We're happy for you. And Stephanie, sorry, just one more thing, Laura. I just wanted to say something you said really resonated with me when you said it took 6 years. And if you think about a relationship, right? Relationships, if we're not being, to your point, celebrated, we're being tolerated, they could drag on and on and on and on because we're afraid to make a change. And you are not afraid of making changes. You've made huge changes. And I think that is something that our audience really needs to celebrate and to learn from and maybe feel empowered themselves to take the next step.
Yeah. Dr. JACALYN, I mean, that was pretty, I mean, I was going to say it in a very different way, but people get into relationships that they tolerate for many reasons, for fear. You know, people get complacent. And if we just remember when we are looking for love that we need to be celebrated, not tolerated.
Absolutely
want the whole thing, not just scraps.
Very true. And as I've mentioned on this show before to Lori, but Stephanie, this will be new for you, is that I have always been in dysfunctional relationships with men. But the good thing is that I got so much accomplished because I did all these side jobs. I got my master's, I got my doctorate. And I think if I had been in a relationship that was really working well, I don't know that I would have, I don't know. I can't say, but I am taking a positive away from it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think we've all been there and we take the lessons, eat the meat, spit out the bones.
We're like, are my teeth still here? Oh, good.
I mean, unfortunately, sometimes that has been the litmus test, but I think as we mature, then we hopefully we take the lessons, and then we're better for it.
Yes. I just want to mention as a marketer, your background is absolutely beautiful. I love the bold red and the white and black. Isn't that really pretty, Lori? It's like very powerful.
And Stephanie, I have to ask you if you're in a relationship because have I got a guy for you?
Ooh.
Oh.
Well, there is a significant individual in my life, but we can talk, Lori.
Okay, sounds good. It's one of those aha moments. Oh my God. Yes, they'd be perfect.
How about that? Well, we are going to take a break and hear from some of our sponsors, but we have a lot to talk about when we come back. Lori, anything that you would like to lead with?
No. Let's go to our paid sponsors, please.
All right, sounds good. We'll be right back. Stay with us here on It's All About Dating. Oh, I better turn off the banners. Sorry. Who's doing the production on this show? Okay, that would be me. All right.
is a world of wonder. Every day it reminds us of its beauty. It touches us, teaches us, and astounds us. But it also warns us that what we throw away does not go away. That higher temperatures mean a lot more than longer summers. That we can no longer take life as we know it for granted. We are at a unique stage in our history. Never before have we had such an awareness of what we are doing to the planet. And never before have we had the power to do something about that. We face a series of
Yes, I was getting into
Look at us.
back to USA Global TV, home of Talking Heads, and welcome to Business Talk Radio. You are still watching or listening to It's All About Dating. And I just have to give thanks for the Earthshot video to our friends Ian Pelham Turner and Helena Shard over there in London. We really appreciate it. So welcome back. We're with Lori Mendelson, dating coach and matchmaker, and our special guest, Stephanie D. McKenzie, super coach and mentor. So, ladies, in the second segment of our show, let's talk about dating. What is going on in the dating world? Stephanie, what are you finding?
How much time do we have again? Okay. I'm finding that people are not really understanding the rules of engagement when it comes to dating. I think that people are unfortunately, we've become very self-centered, but in that we're also hyper protective. And so I think many of us bring enough baggage to the table, us meaning humans in general, are bringing so much baggage to the table that at the first moment of trouble, we're like, we're scattered, like we're a beast running off into the next, whatever, to hide ourselves from the impending doom of being connected to our fellow human. And that's the unfortunate, because I think a lot of people are missing out on what could be some beautiful experiences.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Lori, before I go to you, I just want to share something about a beautiful experience. As Lori knows, I haven't been interested in dating anyone, and I happened to go for a walk where I live, and I saw this guy. He was running. He had no shirt on. I was like, well, hello to you. And all of a sudden I got this little oh my, maybe I would like to meet someone. So you never know when it's going to hit you, right?
That's right.
Oh.
Well, I seem to have frozen.
You're frozen and my screen is breaking up and Stephanie's gone.
Yeah, let's hope that we can get her back. Well, there I am smiling. Anyway, that's good. So I completely agree with what Stephanie is saying, and I'd like to do a piggyback off of that, which is with online dating, people have become commoditized, or what is the word? I can't say it. People have become a commodity. At any sign of trouble, at any sign of dislike, next, they're swiped off. People do not have meaningful conversations to establish a great relationship. They talk about a lot of surface thing, which I coach them not to do. I actually coach to dive deep pretty quickly. Hi, Stephanie. And it's become a very replaceable society of singles, that if they don't like one thing about you, they're going to just move on to the next person, especially for women, because I think that there are 2 women to 1 man on these dating apps, and people they don't have the time anymore. They don't have the interest. So it's pretty sad.
Thank you for sharing that. Also, thank you, Stephanie. So we're each located in different places in the country. What is the dating situation like in Texas?
From what I have seen and what I hear from my clients, people don't know how to date. They just don't. And it's so interesting because I think what they're doing, and rightfully so, dating, I feel like, is a process where you're getting to know someone to figure out if they're worth your time, your energy, and your effort. But in that, still putting in at least a modest amount of time, energy, and effort to see. Something I like to say is share and then see, share and then see. My therapist likes to say, share, check, share. So, but I think what is happening is that people don't want to put in any effort. They want people to tap dance and perform for them and demonstrate that they're worthy. And I'm like, that's not how any of this works, because first of all, that's out of balance. We have come to a place where, and I think Lori was talking about how mercurial our space is, where people can just, hey, oh, you're not acting right. Great. Let me just jump back on Bumble or Tinder or Hinge or whatever, and I'll just find another one. It's so mercurial that we don't want to run the risk of investing in the wrong person, but we are not willing to really find out and put in our due diligence to learn if this is the wrong person. It's almost like guilty until proven innocent.
I love it. Thank you. And I have a question for the 2 of you in reference to that. So if you are single, like moi, and you have started 2 businesses and you're working literally sometimes till midnight, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm on with the UK, how could I possibly give anybody the time that they need? That's why I think it's not fair to date, because I can't make an investment in someone. And I feel like other people out there might have the same situation. So is it best just to stay out of the dating scenario until you actually have time to give to someone?
Do you want to go first, Stephanie?
I would love to go first, Lori. I literally just, like, moments before I hopped on with you 2 amazing ladies, I did a TikTok. And the one thing I said was that when you're in a relationship with 2 people, you do what's best for the 2 of you. I think time is, first of all, it's fluid. And I think time is relative. We have been taught that relationships take a lot of time and energy and effort and work. And it sounds so heavy. It almost sounds like a workout. You're like, oh my God, I want to work out. Then go into a relationship. But here's the thing. We can always have a conversation with our significant other and say, this is what's going on in my life. But I want to put in the effort. I don't believe relationships are work. I believe that they're effort. If you got to make it work, it doesn't work. I'm sorry. But it requires intentionality and being deliberate and putting in effort, intentional effort. And so that could vary. That may mean that you all don't see each other every day. You may not talk every night. Your relationship may not look like a Hallmark movie. That doesn't make it any less qualitative. In fact, it might make it more qualitative if it doesn't look like a Hallmark movie. But nevertheless, no worries with Hallmark. We're just saying. But we can have conversations and say, this is where I am. Where are you? What do you need? This is what I need. Let's balance this thing out, and then let's see if it's going to work, versus saying, you know what? I'm doing all this stuff. I don't know how I fit a person in because I'm sure they're going to want a lot of time. They may not.
I agree.
I love it. I love it.
I was going to say, Dr. JACALYN, I think having the conversation of, here's what I am looking for. What about you? Can we align somehow? I'm looking for a companion. I'd like to go out to dinner one night a week with a man. Might you be that person? And then start dating from that point, rather than saying, oh my God, exactly like Stephanie said, I'm not going to have time to breathe if I get into a relationship. You set it up what works best for both of you. It doesn't have to be all consuming. When it progresses, though, you may want to ease up on the work a little bit and invest the time and effort with that person. So It's all about communication and setting a really strong foundation, in my opinion, of friendship before anything else.
Yes.
Thank you both. Thank you. By the way, just quick digression again. TikTok, Stephanie, you got to teach us how to do that, because I cannot figure out how to do that platform, and that's something that I really would like to know. I'll talk to you about it offline.
I just learned. I'm not. I said, you know what? I'll just make a TikTok. I talk, it records, and then I got creative. I mess with the filters, and I, do my Spielberg thing. Yeah, right. And yeah, it was a creative outlet for me, And so whenever I have like a little fleeting thought, I put it on my TikTok.
On your TikTok. All right. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to follow you. Where are you on TikTok so we can follow you?
I love Stephisms.
I love Stephisms. Okay. That's wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
By the way, Lori, you're here and you're gone, and it's like we're watching a movie. It's light, it's dark.
She's doing her Spielberg thing.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know what to do here. All of my windows are closed. I mean, even my real windows are closed here. So I don't know what to do. So
don't worry about it. We can hear you. We just roll with it. So Stephanie, what type of clients do you typically work with? So for people who are out there now, they're thinking, I'm looking to work with somebody. I need a coach. I need a mentor. Who are your ideal clients?
Awesome. Well, I love what we call high achieving coaches, owners, and leaders. And for me, that's pretty much all encompassing. Some of the individuals we work with are coaches or future coaches. We also work with owners, business owners, or future business owners, and then leaders. And the leaders term for me is pretty broad, because a leader could be a leader of their household, or they could be a leader at church, but they understand that they have a call to be a leader, and they do usually pour pretty effortlessly into others. Most of our clients are relatively affluent. They're professionally accomplished. However, they have spent a vast majority of their personal life overpouring and overgiving and overdoing. Some use the word people pleasing. And we work really hard to bring them out of that and bring them into the balance that lets them live the life that they actually want to live, and not the one that has pleased other people all this time.
Thank you. And when somebody has to actually let go of that people-pleasing quality, that persona, that's a tough thing sometimes, isn't it?
It is, definitely. And what I tell people that are new to recovering from people-pleasing, I am a recovering people-pleaser. Nobody ever believes me when I say that, but I'm like, yeah. I say, let the guilt guide you. Because invariably what we have learned over time, working with this particular, our demographics have evolved, but you're working with this demographic for as long as we have, it's been a few years. When there is that first twinge of, I'm going to do what's best for me, there's also this very hard poke of guilt. And so one of the things that I tell our clients and I tell our community members, let the guilt guide you until you don't feel guilty anymore. Because at that point, the guilt is telling you that you're on the right path. So just continue to work through the guilt until not feeling guilty is your natural state.
I like it.
Thank you.
Another good, and what are they called? Stephisms?
A little bit. Yeah, I think that would qualify.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it. Stephanie, what has been the highlight of your career? Can you tell us about that?
Oh, me, the highlight of my coaching career?
Yeah.
Let's see. The highlight of my coaching career. I feel like the highlight of my coaching career was really when I came into the understanding of what I was doing. In the beginning, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing something, and I was doing it begrudgingly at that. Like, I'm a marketer. But when I came into the understanding of who I was and who I am in this work, that allowed me to serve other people in a different way, from a different viewpoint, from a different energy. And I think that's one of the high points, definitely, in my career overall.
Thank you for sharing that, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
I was going to say that it's interesting when you said before, I'm a marketer. I'm a marketer. I remember when I was in my corporate career, which I retired from last year, and people would ask me what I did. And I was never really sure exactly how to say what I did because it seems so convoluted. And if you asked me today what I did, I wouldn't have to think of it. It's like right there, I know what I do. So I feel like when you're in your lane, when you found your passion, you know exactly who you are and what you're doing. And obviously you're there.
Well, thank you. It took a minute. And always being multifaceted, okay, you have 3 coaching practices. And then when I figured out, no, you don't. You have 1 coaching practice with 3 divisions. Let's all calm down. That really made things easier, because what I want people to understand is that you may come to me for one thing, which a lot of people do. They'll come with one thing. I literally can put them through the lenses of about 10 to 12 different ideologies, everything from meditation, mindfulness, to sleep science, to life, relationship, and bereavement. We can walk the gambit. And so I think if I have a second proudest moment was when the client that came in to get over a breakup continued to work through her process and continue to work through her healing, and is now launching her own coaching practice, healing, healthy, and whole, to serve other people. Now that is really a highlight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is definitely worth applauding.
Definitely.
I'll be applauding in 5 minutes, Stephanie. You can watch it.
I'll be here. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be right here.
This is the weirdest thing.
I wonder if you leave and come back.
Are you trying to get rid of me, my friend?
No, I was just hoping, Scott Bakula might come help you do a quantum leap so you could be, in real time with us.
I'm in the matrix, as they say on Clubhouse.
Exactly.
There she is clapping now, like she said. We're
calling Scott Bakula. Scott Bakula, come get her right now. And not because you look really good in NCIS. I mean, that has nothing.
Have you ever had a client that just completely stumps you? That
Yes.
You just put your hands and just, I don't know, God help me here. What do I do?
Yes.
Yeah. Want to tell us about it?
Sure. Yes, I've had a couple of those, but one of them was unable to take correction, and that was stumping. That was a little stumping to me. The response she said was that I triggered her. And what I know about being triggered, sometimes people weaponize their triggers, and that's a whole different show. But when someone is triggered by correction, that means that there's a wound there. And I get it, I understand that. And, that happens. Sometimes there's a disconnect in coaching. She still achieved her goals though, but I know there's a disconnect in coaching, but I think for me, that was a little difficult. I think if I'd have been really mindful of that particular client, I may have waited to work with them until they were in a different space, but I didn't realize the space that they were in at the time. Sometimes my intuition, I won't say my intuition fails me. Sometimes I fail my intuition.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Once again, thank you for that beautiful authenticity. We love that.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Stephanie and Lori, I have a question for both of you. So in my coaching practice, I help people learn how to listen. How important is really, truly listening and being authentic and being present when it comes to dating people? I'll start with you, Stephanie.
Okay, fine. I was waiting. I was like, Lori's got this. Okay. I think that listening is truly important. And with the caveat of, let's not just listen for the silence. We should be listening to understand. We should be listening to mirror back. We should be listening to be open to learning and unlearning. We should be listening in order to build. Unfortunately, a lot of people are just listening for the pause because they're ready for you to shut up so they can jump in. And that doesn't help us build, healthy, happy, fruitful relationships at all.
Were you in my seminar this morning? Unbelievable. That's exactly what
We're here.
I know. It's amazing. It's amazing. I think Lori's back. Lori, would you like to comment?
Well, I'm so not back. I'm looking somewhere, but anyway, I'm looking at little bit. Yes, I would love to come, and I think listening is imperative, but equally imperative is the willingness to change, because you are in there and you are getting coaching and you are investing in yourself. It is, to me, they're 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, good point. Good point. We see you smiling now. And Stephanie, you also said something I think is really important for our audience. Now she's laughing. Sorry. Is that you quoted your therapist, and I love that because it's important to have someone to talk to. I have coaches, I've had therapists, and people sometimes they hear the word coach, mentor, therapist. I don't need that. I have all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Do you have all the answers, or are you just putting up a wall?
Mm-hmm.
We as coaches have all the answers, Dr. Jacqueline, right, Stephanie?
Exactly. I think people are, some of these terms are so stigmatizing, like they believe something's wrong with you. There's got to be something wrong with you if you have a therapist. There's got to be something wrong with you if you have a coach. Sometimes that's what some people think, especially when it comes to relationship coaching. Oh, well, our relationship has to be falling down on its last leg before we go and get help. And I'm like, no, that's what we do so we don't end up falling down on our last leg. Like, duh. If I could get more people to engage in couple care, a yearly checkup with a unbiased third party, I think that would make a lot of marriages so much happier and a lot of relationships last a lot longer. But nevertheless, I digress.
No, I love that. Couple care. I'm writing that down too. Couple care.
I can't seem to make it stick, ladies. I've been saying it for a few years, but I tell you, all the couples that come in, especially if they're married, they come in and they're in crisis. And I'm like, listen, I am a certified integrative nutrition coach. And one thing I know as someone who has lost probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 90 pounds in their life, you can lose 70 to 90, even 100 pounds, and you can lose 10 pounds. What do you think is easier? Why aren't you coming in here at the 10-pound mark instead of continuing to eat? And now we're on my 600-pound life.
Now, here's a question I have for you. That's a really good point. I feel that sometimes instead of people coming, and again, there's no judgment, but instead of them coming from a heart-centered place, they're coming from a prideful place. I'm not going to let anyone know there's any issues in my relationship because I am strong. I don't want anyone to peek behind the curtain and see what's going on.
Correct. And in communities of color, we are often taught that you don't air your dirty laundry. And I'm like, talking to someone who is credentialed or licensed to assist you with your situation is not airing your dirty laundry. That is not you telling the bank teller or your favorite aunt, or that is you seeking assistance of a professional and an unbiased party to help you navigate this part of the path. It's like turning on your GPS.
Well stated. Well stated. And I think, to me, when someone says they're working with a coach or a therapist or a mentor, I want to give that person kudos, because good for you for being willing to learn, to want to take your life, your relationships to the next level. We can all stay stuck where we are and just stamp our foot and go, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to talk to anyone. Great. Good for you. That's wonderful. You can stay there if you want. I'm going forward. I'm going to the next level. So I know that's what you both are doing as well. And I think Lori's doing I feel like I'm at a disco right now. But anyway, we are actually at the end of our show. It's going by so fast. Stephanie, I want to spotlight you and ask you a couple of questions. The first is, how can people reach you, and who should reach out to you?
Well, I tell you, you can reach out to me always at Stephanie D as in diva. Oh no, I just threw the D in there. StephanieDMcKenzie.com. You can always catch a 30-minute shift talk. We can talk some shift, SHIFT, at talk.stephisms.com. And who should reach out to me are individuals that you feel led or encouraged by something I have said, and you want to know more. I'm not going to lock you into a program just for asking a question. Let's talk some shift.
I really like that. Let's talk some shift. Another good one. Fantastic. Well, thank you again for being here. We'd love to have you back on this or any of our other shows. You've been a delightful guest, very inspirational, and congratulations again on all your success.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm saying goodbye, you just can't see it.
I know, Lori. It's been a pleasure, though. I'm sending Scott Bakula in, though.
Thank you, Stephanie. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. And Lori, I'm not really sure if you're going to be able to. I think you're back. I don't know. You're not back.
No,
okay.
No.
All right.
No.
What's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
And to go to my website at smartfunnysingle.com. And I, unlike Stephanie, I charge for every minute of my time. I'm just kidding. I sign people up for packages they don't need. That isn't me at all.
You used to sell cars before, didn't you?
Do you want to buy an extended warranty for that coach?
You know what's funny? That was actually a job that I had. My dad was a car dealer and I was the finance and insurance manager. And my job was to sell people extended warranties and other services like pinstriping, and you want to get a moon roof. I digress. Okay. So you're actually back. And now I'm going to spotlight you. So who should reach out to you? And aside from going to your website, where can they find you on Clubhouse?
They can find me at Lori Mendelson, my name on Clubhouse. It's at Matchmaker Lori. On Instagram, I am Smart Funny Single. I can't believe I'm back. It's weird. Anyone who is interested in improving his or her dating profile, really fine-tuning it for the dating app, should get a hold of me. And someone who wants to actually learn how to date, get past their blocks and barriers, I'm the girl to do it. So I'm looking forward to helping people. Thank you, Dr. JACALYN.
Thank you very much. And it was nice to have you back. It wasn't the same without you. So look forward to seeing you again next week.
Very good. Thank you, Dr. JACALYN. Always
Thank
a pleasure.
you. Always a pleasure as well. Bye. Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening. It's great to have Lori back, and Stephanie was a fantastic guest. I want to leave you with this before I run over to the next studio for our Talking Head show. I am so pumped up about this power of listening, the seminars that I'm doing. I've made the pricing, I think, very affordable because I think all of us owe it to ourselves and to this wonderful world we live in to learn how to listen. Just think what your life would be like if you felt like people were really listening to you instead of interrupting you, instead of thinking while you're talking, instead of providing solutions that you didn't ask for, and most of all, judging what you're saying. So that being said, you can go over to Eventbrite, The Power of Listening, and you can sign up for one of my seminars. And at the end of taking the first and second part of the introductory course, you can take a quiz and get certified as a certified listener. That doesn't mean you're an expert. That would take a little bit of time, right? We have to put time in. When I went for my doctorate, it was a 6.5-year program. And as I mentioned earlier today during one of my seminars, I would have loved to have just gone for 1 quarter and said, hey, that's it. I took a couple courses, give me that degree and do the hood thing on the stage. But that's not how it works. So we have to make an effort. But you can start today by signing up for The Power of Listening over on Eventbrite. And I thank you again for being here. We are coming right back with Talking Heads, and we'll see you soon.